Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. The Orioles just finished their series with Boston in Boston, swept the Red Sox. Yes, first action of the year for the Orioles in the AL East, coming off their first series loss of the season, get their first sweep of the season. How great it is to go into your opponent's hometown, sweep them out of their own ballpark. It's great. As you can see, I am on MASNsports.com. Let's get to the box score. The first game from Fenway Park in Boston. Baltimore Orioles 7, Boston Red Sox 1. This was Tuesday. As you can see, Red Sox got 1 in the first, and that was it. Must have had an ace on the mound, huh? Ha! Gunnar Henderson, 2 for 5, scored twice. Rutschman, 2 for 5, scored once, drove one in. Santander, 1 for 5, 1 RBI. See, Hayes came in late, defensive replacement. That was a theme this series. Hayes on the bench. I mean, he would be a great fourth outfielder. You just hate the fact that he spent so much time with the team during the rebuild. Fairly decent player. Had good offensive numbers, played great defense, still plays great defense. Now that the team is contending, he's may not be in the lineup as much because he's not hitting as well as the other guys. Kind of sad. O'Hearn 1 for 3, walked twice, scored once. Mountcastle 1 for 5, scored once. Mullins 2 for 4, drove one in, walked once, scored twice. Cowser 2 for 4, 4 RBIs. Again, I mean, because Cowser keeps hitting, it means Hayes not in the lineup. You're not gonna, Mullins has got to play. Mullins will get some time off. Santander's got to be out there. Mostly because you're going to want O'Hearn to DH somewhat often. Doesn't leave that much time for Santander to DH. Arias, 1 for 5. Second hit of the year for Arias. Yay, still only 1 for 5. Tony Kemp, 0 for 3. Pinch hit for late. Or I guess not pinch hit. Mateo came in late in the game. There was something crazy going on. The Red Sox changed their pitchers because they saw, well, at least we were assuming, because they saw Mateo on deck circle. Pitchers announced, pitchers in the game. But Mateo wasn't announced, wasn't officially in the game yet. So, because there was, I don't remember who Alex Cora, the Red Sox manager, put in, but right-handed pitcher, so they let Kemp hit. And then defensive replacement, the next inning, Mateo in there. This would be Tony Kemp's last. Well, we don't know that he'll never be in an Oriole uniform again, but he's currently not on the team now. Cowser, 2 doubles. Henderson, 1 double. Mullins, Henderson, stolen bases. Yep. Corbin Burns, ace was pitching. Excellent. Be better if his middle name started with an M. Burns, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Yeah, that's how an ace's numbers look like. Yeah, well, be interesting to see what this season holds for the Baltimore Orioles and what kind of progression in the standings at the end of the year do we see. Hopefully we do see some. Coulomb takes the 8th inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, strikes out 3. There you go. Webb gets the 9th, no hits, no runs, no walks, strikes out 1. Fantastic way to start the series, or an excellent way to start the series, since it was C. Burns. Next game, Wednesday's game, little different. You can see Baltimore Orioles 7, Boston Red Sox 5. You see big numbers, maybe not big numbers, but crooked-ish numbers here in the 6th and the 7th. Red Sox seem to have had the game in hand up until later in the game. That's what happens. You don't put the Orioles away, they'll make you pay. Gunnar Henderson 1 for 4 with a walk. Struck out once. Rutschman 0 for 5, struck out 3 times. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Rutschman needs a day off. Rutschman doesn't strike out 3 times in a game. Are you kidding me? He's got one of the lowest strikeout totals for any player. But yet, this happens. Something was mentioned during, was it this game or was it yesterday's game, was about how Brandon Hyde was handling the bullpen and saving some bullets for this series so you could have your better pitchers available against your first matchup with the AL East. Does make sense. That's why, Rutschman was in here the whole series. You need these wins more than you need the other ones. But couldn't you have given him some more days off in one of the other series? Brewers coming into town tonight, so can Rutschman get a day off, please? A full day off? Hopefully. Santander 1 for 5. O'Hearn 1 for 3, did score once. He also walked once. Hayes pinch hit late, 0 for 1. Mountcastle 2 for 4, scored twice, walked once. Wow, we're down to the first 5 spots in the batting order, and nobody's driven in a run yet. Yeah. Okay. Though the Orioles did score a run that didn't count as an RBI. I don't remember who that was. I think it was on one of the errors. Mullins 1 for 3, walked once, scored twice. Colton Cowser, there's that guy again. 1 for 4, walked once, drove 2 in, scored once himself. Jordan Westberg, 2 for 3, 3 RBIs, scored once. Here it is. It's a holiday. That's right, Jackson Holiday. That was a terrible setup. Did better with the Montgomery Burns mention. Jackson Holiday finally been called up. That's why Tony Kemp isn't around anymore. Make room for Jackson Holiday. First 4 official at-bats, 0 for 4. Did drive in a run on a ground out, which is, sure, I'm sure you'd rather have a hit. Or would you? Would you rather drive in a run? I'd rather drive in a run than get a hit. Getting a hit doesn't really do anything. Putting points on the board does something. So, while he doesn't look that great at the plate, at least as of yet, we haven't seen the offensive performance from Jackson Holiday that we were seeing in the minor leagues, which is one of the reasons why so many people were like, why isn't this guy up here? Why isn't this guy up here? Well, doesn't have a hit yet. Okay? It's 2 games. He didn't have a hit yet. He looks okay defensively. He did miss a pop-up. It was a lot like that Gunnar Henderson pop-up he missed like a week ago. Camden Yards for Kimbrel's, what would have been Kimbrel's first save. Long run for an infielder out to the outfield. Backpedaling, winds blowing, outfielders are playing deep. Really a shallow fly ball. He just couldn't get to it. So it's not like it's a bad performance defensively. It's just haven't seen anything that makes you go, wow, that kid's a good baseball player. I haven't necessarily seen that yet. His throws look a little odd. It almost looks like he doesn't throw the ball hard. And it looks like the ball isn't flying that fast. Maybe it's because we're so used to like Gunnar Henderson having to make a throw from third base or shortstop or any other player trying to make a throw from third base or shortstop. They put a lot into it because it is further away. It does fly through the air a lot. Holiday's kind of, I don't know. They just don't seem to travel over to first base as fast. Of course, he is a second baseman, so maybe what it is. Just trying to get used to the throw, not trying to put too much power onto it because it's a little harder for the first baseman to catch it probably. But we'll see. He's going to be up here for a while. Westberg double, Henderson triple, Westberg home run. Cowser stole the base. So seems like with every game, Cowser is looking like he's the guy that's going to get the majority of the starts out there. Because Hayes hasn't really done that much. See double plays. No, I don't usually talk about them. But as you can see, the second one here, Holiday, Henderson, Mountcastle, he did start a double play. Fielded the ball very nicely. A very nice, gentle feed to Henderson. Put right in the, I would say, appropriate spot for Henderson to get the ball and then make the relay to first base. So that part of the game seems really good. It does seem like, as far as your double plays go, Holiday and Henderson will be fine. Cole Irvin gets the start in this one. Where are you, Johnny Means? More on that a little later. 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned, 3 walks, only 4 strikeouts. Not the greatest performance here from Mr. Irvin, but he is your 5th starter. Mike Baumann comes in relief, pitches 1 full inning, gives up 1 hit, but no runs, no walks, strikes out 3. Yeah, that's fantastic. Keegan Aiken pitching the 7th and the 8th. 2 full innings, which is, you really like to see that. Especially from Baumann and Aiken. They're not necessarily the long man. I think right now that's Heasley as, maybe designated as a long man. But you like to see that Aiken and hopefully Baumann too, since they're, we'll say, failed starters, can give you 2 innings every once in a while, and 2 very clean innings, as in 2 innings, no runs, no hits. Switched that, didn't I? No hits, no runs, no earned runs, only walked 1, which, you'll take it, honestly. 4 strikeouts, so Keegan Aiken is putting together a nice start to the year. It's really good to see him turn the corner and be reliable out of the bullpen. Especially with CNL Perez down. More on that later, too. Because the Orioles do need a lefty out of the bullpen. Craig Kimbrell, first time back in Boston since he won the World Series with them, which did kind of shock a few people. Gets his 2nd save of his Orioles career, pitches 1 full inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Are you missing Felix Bautista yet? Because I'm not. Okay? I told you all. There's not going to be much different in the end result. Yes, how Kimbrell is going to get there is going to be different than Felix Bautista. Kimbrell doesn't throw 100 miles an hour anymore, but he is more of a pitcher than Felix Bautista. Bautista is more of a thrower. Well, he was. We'll see. When Bautista starts rehabbing, we'll see what happens with that. So I'm not missing Felix Bautista yet anyway. Final game in the 3-game set. This was Thursday's game. Baltimore Orioles 9, Boston Red Sox 4. Take a look at this big old crooked number here in the 10th. 6. Yes, Orioles. We're not playing that well for most of the game. Well, I guess that's not necessarily true. Boston again jumped out to the early lead. Orioles having to play catch up the whole time. Not exactly an easy thing to do. But did take the lead in the 8th and gave up the tie. Gunnar Henderson, 1 for 5, 2 RBIs, scored once. Did strike out 3 times. Somewhat concerning, I think. Rutschman, 1 for 5. Santander, 1 for 4, 2 RBIs, scored once. Hayes, again, defensive replacement, only getting 1 at bat, 0 for 1. Struck out. Of course, at the same time, I mean, he's not... Can't really put anything together if you're getting 1 at bat every other game. Can't expect Hayes to do much offensively at that point. O'Hearn, 1 for 4, walked once, scored once. Mountcastle, also 1 for 4, walked once, scored once. Mullins, 1 for 3, walked twice, drove 1 in, scored 1 himself. Cowser, more bad news for Austin Hayes. More bad news. 3 for 5, 4 RBIs, scored twice. Jordan Westberg, 0 for 3, but did walk twice. Jackson Holliday, 0 for 4. Still doesn't have a hit yet. 4 at-bats, no hit. Did score twice. One was an error on a ground ball, and the other run he scored was because he was the extra runner in the 10th inning, and then Gunnar Henderson hit a home run, so drove him in. O'Hearn and Cowser both with doubles. Cowser, 2 home runs. I think he's got more home runs this year than Austin Hayes has hits. That's not good for Austin Hayes. Santander and Henderson also with home runs. Westberg stolen base. Grayson Rodriguez gets a start in this game. Pitches 5 2/3, unable to finish the 6th inning. Got up to 94 pitches. I don't understand why Brandon Hyde didn't let him finish the 6th inning. Perfectly understandable. I would have preferred that he finished it, but at the same time, you're getting up to 94 pitches. It's a long season. No need to hurt the kid. Gives up 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Most of the blemishes were early. This was Boston Red Sox scoring 2 runs early in the 1st inning. But it's good to see, especially for a young pitcher, that you can give up runs early. Not that you want to see them do that, but you get hit, maybe you get knocked down, then you get back up, you dust yourself off, and you go back to work, and you essentially shut them down for 4 more innings. 5 more innings? 5 more innings. 5 strikeouts, it's a little low for Grayson Rodriguez, but I mean, that's almost 1 an inning, so. Jacob Webb finishes off the 6th inning and pitches the 7th. So 1 1/3 inning pitched. No hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Good to see Jacob Webb is still the same old Jacob Webb. Danny Coulomb. Disappointing first blemish on Coulomb's season. Only goes through 2/3 of an inning. Gives up 1 hit, 1 run. No walks, no strikeouts. Cano called on to finish the 8th inning. Does get, well, So he finishes off the 8th inning. I don't remember what he got. He got a ground ball or something. What am I going to say right here? Ground out. Yanier Cano. How many pitches did he throw? 4 pitches. 4 pitches, 4 strikes. So, relatively low usage out of Cano, though you do kind of get the, what's the word for it? Sunk cost, I guess, of having him warm up and get loose before he enters the game. So, but Cano should be available for some upcoming series with the Brewers. Kimbrel pitches the ninth. Kimbrel probably not available until at least Saturday, maybe Sunday. Somewhat disappointing. Does throw 1 inning. No hits, no runs, no walks. Strikes out 1. Credited with the win in this one, since he was the pitcher of record when the Orioles scored the 6 runs in the 10th inning. Mike Baumann on to finish the game. Yes. At this point, when Baumann came in, the Orioles they did have their 9 runs, so it was 9-3. Baumann in there. Not a save situation, not a winning situation, but seeing how what happened last time, that Baumann came in the extra innings with a lead for the Orioles, that time it didn't work out too well. I do support Brandon Hyde's decision to put Baumann out there. Go back to the guy. Show him that you do have confidence. You do want him on this team. You want him part of this winning team. He didn't exactly come through. Depends on how you look at it, because Baumann does give up 1 hit and 1 run, not earned, because of the extra runner out there at second base. That's why it's a run, not an earned run. Which, I mean, you hate to see that the pitcher, in this case Mike Baumann, gave up the run, gave up a score to the other team, but at the same time, a really good head start on him, didn't they? I mean, they got the second base just because that's what the rules are. So you can't really say, oh, he was bad, he was terrible. Well, no, I mean, even as you can see down here, inherited runners scored. It was an inherited runner. He didn't allow the guy. Actually, no pitcher allowed the guy. So it's not that you don't like to see that he's giving the run up, because what happens if the Orioles hadn't gotten 6? What happens if they got no runs? What happened if they only got 1 run? They would have failed again. But you had a very comfortable lead, so maybe you're trying to go easy, less force. You're trying easier, I guess, and you just, you gave up the run. But he gets the 3 outs, no strikeouts. What is it? Let's see. Baumann, 2 ground outs and a fly out. So that's okay. I mean, it's a good performance. Came away with the win. It was, it wasn't a save situation or a win situation, but it was, Fenway Park, it's Boston, it's early year, it's cold. Sweeps on the line, so it's a little bit of, extra juice in there instead of, just some random game you're blowing them out. So maybe it does make up for that last performance by Baumann. Bounce back a little bit, hopefully. We'll see how season goes for him. All right, let's get to some of the articles. I remember which one of these was which. So, article written by Rock Kubatko. Really, all I'm picking out of here is Perez. CNL Perez still on the injured list. He is eligible to come off. Well, he's put on the 31st, so he should be able to come off on, the 14th? My math is right because it's 15 days. But it doesn't look like he will be ready to come back. He hasn't had any setbacks or anything. And as far as we can all tell, or what they're telling us, is he's progressing about where he should be. He's just not going to be ready in the 15 days. Maybe transfer to the 30 or 50 day injured list. I don't know at this point, they don't need to do any of that yet. But it is going to be a little longer without CNL Perez. somewhat disappointing. We could use another lefty in the bullpen. Check out this other article, also written by Rock Kubatko. Yes, the Orioles claimed a Mr. Soto, Mr. Levon Soto. What is he? He's an infielder, I think. It's not really the news, but getting somebody else in the organization to replace Jackson Holliday down at AAA. This Mr. Soto is a bit young too, so Holliday replaces Kemp on the active roster. Soto replaces Holliday on the minor league roster. But another line in here that was more noteworthy, even though I've spent more time talking about the Soto thing. Johnny Means did another rehab start. Went 3 innings this time. Only gave up 2 hits, two runs. Like 2 runs in the 3 innings, but only 2 hits. He walked, 2, I think? So, again, Johnny Means is getting there. He's getting there. No real timetable as of yet, but he's coming. As of right now, no setbacks, nothing. Everything's going good with Johnny Means down there. He just needs a little bit more time to get stretched out and get major league ready. Also, another player was supposed to get a rehab start, Kyle Bradish, or was it a rehab start or was it something else? Throw a side session or something. He was scheduled to start doing that, but inclement weather held back that, so Bradish is also on the path to coming back. Now, Bradish will be a little further behind John Means, but so far so good with John Means and Kyle Bradish and their rehab / stretching out of their arms. So help's on the way with the rotation. It is. Check out the schedule, the upcoming schedule, and we can get out of here. Scrolling down, you see the Milwaukee Brewers coming into town. So home series for the Orioles against the Milwaukee Brewers Friday 7:05, Saturday 4:05, Sunday 1:35. And Monday we'll start a series with the Minnesota Twins. So no off day for me either. Well, I guess not necessarily true, as in like say less pressure on me to hurry up and get my video done and process and all that, before the game starts. So I'm on pace for right now. I'll be able to get this game out before the Brewers series starts tonight. So that's going to do it for this edition of Ryno's Orioles Report. Next edition of Ryno's Orioles Report, we'll talk about the Milwaukee Brewers series, and that should be posted Monday. So subscribe to the channel. You get notified when those videos do drop. I am the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.